In this video, we're going to try to take a look at a potential solution for the auto attendance challenge in virtual worlds. So this is under variables, and then it's the first one, auto attendance. And we looked at this before in the video on variables and display. Fine. So if you've watched that video, you know that we can create variables. This is an integer variable called count. We started at 0. And this is an integer variable called students. We start that at 0. And then we have our display, which we had to find by going to Robot, Debugger Windows, and clicking on NXT Remote Screen to bring this up so we could see this display. And then we can display the value of these variables down in our program using display text line. And then let's take a look at this one right here. This is on line 3. It says students equal %D. But on our display it says students equal 3. That's because %D won't print out %D. It will print out some sort of value. And we are going to close our quotation marks, put a comma, and then tell it what value that is. Well, this is saying not the word students, but the value of this variable that we named students up here, which, as this program goes along, this program is supposed to take a look, see if there's a book there, and then add it up. So I'm just going to scroll slowly down so that if you're copying this, you can get it done. We got our pragma at the top. We've got task main. Then we're opening our bracket. That bracket's going to correspond to the final bracket, so the entire program needs to go inside here. We're doing all of this. We're after task main. We've got our two variables. Then we're doing our entire program as long as count is less than 3. We're starting the count at 0. We're doing our whole program as long as count doesn't get to be 3. Once count is equal to 3 or greater, then it's going to skip past this and in this case end the program. So we're using our variable to control the amount of times we loop. Fine. I'm again scrolling down, so if somebody was typing this, you could do it. We set our encoders equal to 0. We then say go forward in this part of it. We start displaying how many students there are. Then we're going to turn one direction, and we're going to check to see whether there are any students available or in a seat. The students again are the books. If there's a book there, it's going to add 1 to the student's variable and display that on the screen. Then it's going to turn the other direction, and once again, if the sonar is less than 40, it's going to detect a book or a student. It's going to add 1 more to the student variable. It's going to display it on the screen, and then turn back to straight, turn the other direction, and get ready to do it again. Then add 1 to count, repeat, display what count is at that point, and go back up and repeat it. Once count has become, at this point, we're going to keep on adding to count after it does all these procedures. But if count became equal to 3, then that would make the loop end, and that would say, well, then let's go past it to whatever else is there, which is nothing, so the program ends. Unfortunately, the program, as written, doesn't work perfectly. Starts at 0. Notice when it turned and saw the book, it added 1 to the student count. We're checking 3 rows of desks, so we're going to keep doing this as long as count is less than 3. And goes forward, looks there, counted another student up here, see, 2. Counted another student, 3. and goes to the end. Worked in this case, but it only worked because there are no students in the final row. The program I have is flawed. Let's see if we can go back home, start activity. Yeah, watch this one. Counts 1 student, 2 students. Great. And it did it once, 1 row of desks. 3 students, 4 students. Did it twice. Watch what happens in the final one. 5. What happened? It didn't count the final student. So why? Obviously, it has something to do with the display, right? This student, what we're seeing here, is based on a display command. So one of these, display students, and this is what these commands that say students equal %D and go back to our students variable are what's controlling what's showing up on our display screen here. And why doesn't it get that last student? Well, I'm not going to give you the solution, but I want you to think about it. The way the program works, these loops do things as long as the condition is true. So it's doing all of this while count is less than 3. Doing all of that while count is less than 3. But it's not displaying that final student. Well, once count became 3, then it gets to this point, goes back and checks the condition. The condition now is 3. Well, that's not, then count is not less than 3. 3 is equal to 3. It's not less than 3. So it's going past this what's it called? This bracket without ever displaying that last student. I want you to think about, where could you put a display line, and basically this line right there. Is there some place we could put it that would make it so that that last student would get displayed? And the answer is yes. So I can tell you that that's the only thing that needs changed, is you can add one more of these display text lines, and you need to add it in some location in this program. I believe there are at least 2 places you could put it that would make this program work correctly and actually count the final student. But the problem crops up when the final student is right there in the left-hand desk in the final row. If there's no student there, program probably works. But if there is one, it's gonna end up wrong. So let you guys troubleshoot this, and it's not super hard. I think you can do it.